The genesis of Navistar was actually around 1968. It was strictly an envelope printer. They didn't manufacture, they just bought blank envelopes and printed them for the local businesses. And that led us into commercial type printing, letterhead, flyers, brochures. And then the next thing that came along was putting a Cheshire label on a self-mailer and mailing it out. And then data processing to do the lists and things like that. And just kept expanding the business. So by 1972 or 73, we were mailing, commercial printing, direct mail, and data processing. So it just grew from there. More and more, data becomes more critical, and as the capabilities of the equipment has changed, being able not just to do paragraph fill or targeted messages through text, but being able to swap out images and targeted messages through images. That's just become more and more important. So the data just continues to be an important factor in our customers' business. In regards to nearline versus inline finishing, the whole point is if you have a folder jam or a cutter jams up or whatever, you're stopping a production line, where if you're going roll to roll, you're just take care of that. So there's waste involved and things like that when you have these stops. It takes a little bit of time for the press to come up to speed. And so the suggested way would be to do everything nearline. Now with the faster speeds on the screens and the productivity of them, that just took our bottleneck. When you figure we were going from printing static shells, going to a continuous form laser, then going to a folder. With the inkjet technology, we've eliminated one or the other, whether the printing press or the laser, you've combined them both. And now we've got two high-speed lines, the MBO high-speed lines, and it's like doubled, sometimes tripled our speeds and capacity, increased capacity and tripled speeds in some cases. With the addition of the high-speed lines, it required retraining our existing employees. And it wasn't so much on the equipment itself, but it was on the mindset of running things faster. Mm-hmm. When you're running a machine at 3,000 an hour and that's your day and what have you, and now you're running at something at 30,000 an hour, that's a significant change in mindset as to how you operate the equipment. 5-10 years ago, it was all about doing more with less. And with today's labor market, it's about doing more with what you have. Because people are tough to find, you got to keep the people you have, but how do you get more out of them? And so that's when you go with this newer, faster, more efficient equipment. Myself and one of the company owners of our previous company went to a graphic arts show in Chicago, and we saw these MBO folders up there with the banders on the ends, and I think they were B32s or something like that. And they were putting out some just unbelievable amount of work through these things. They had them on the show. You don't see stuff like that on the show floors anymore. But I mean, these things were just clicking along, and we bought 2 on site, and we've just never looked back. I mean, they've been great performing machines for us, and it's what gave us the comfortable feeling about moving to the high-speed lines, because we knew they built good quality products and they serviced them well if we needed help, trained, what have you. So we've got a pretty large cut sheet bindery as well. We've got the 2 high speeds. We'll probably be getting a 3rd. We're bringing the slower, less efficient machines offline, replacing probably 2 to 1, 3 to 1. But we have a pretty large cut sheet line as well that we use, and it's all MBOs with some other stuff mixed in. But they've been a good partner, and they're very dependable, good machines. One of the nice things about the high-speed lines is it's very similar to our conventional cut sheet lines, where we can move modules in and out, and they're also compatible with our older cut sheet line. And so one item we do what we call a drop cut reply, and we were able to, there's an H&H unit that we were able to buy from MBO, and it facilitates that work. And that work alone would run very slow in the old lines, maybe 3,500, 4,000 an hour, 1 up, and we're running it 2 up at probably 12 or 14,000 an hour. So that's been a huge gain, and we run a lot of that work. The other thing is we bought one with a slit merge unit, and one of the high-speed lines has a slit merge unit, and that's been very beneficial on doing the type of work that facilitates. So, and I mean, the make-readies aren't that significant. It's just like setting up the cut sheet line. I mean, there's not a lot of additional work you have to do to set these things up and get them going. Customer expectations aren't really any different today. They're just more compressed. It's how quickly you can put something in the mail. They want to mail a current list as opposed to one that's got, they have to use the list by a certain date and things like that. Quality standards, and then consistency in the work you do. So, I just see at least for the next several years, more of the same. Moving work from the conventional offset over to the inkjet side, especially now with paper going up, with the supply chain issues, paper going up, chemicals, all the rising costs on that, and the consumables on the inkjet side just aren't there. I mean, it's ink and it's some wipes and stuff. But, the parts are in your service contract and things like that. So there's less waste, and rags and plates and blankets and all that stuff. With the rising costs there, it makes it even more advantageous to run it on an inkjet web as it does to be on a conventional press. We do a lot of recurring business here, and I would say that's due to, one, our experience. We've been around a long time, so we know what we're doing. We understand, our mindset is we're just an extension of our customer's business, and so we understand their business and we can help them meet their needs. Another part of that is keeping up with technology, staying at that edge so that you're always looking to stay ahead of it.